Alright guys, so yesterday we built a deck and we put it online for y'all 45-minute video, and the point of the video was mainly just to go through pretty much the thought process that Red and myself have when we're building a deck. And the deck we built was Jeska Warrior deck. Now a lot of the cards we picked, we said the names, didn't really say what they do, so today I'm going to do a deck tech of the entire deck to show pretty much what we picked. So Jeska Warrior deck, commander, 4 mana, 3/1 first strike haste, tap, deal 1 damage to a creature or player. So what we're wanting to do with her and a lot of the creatures that are in the deck is we're wanting to alternate win conditioning, give one of them infect and tap, deal infect damage. And the main thing we want to do is give them Death Touch. Now we want to give them Death Touch because the tap to deal 1 damage effect with Death Touch causes instant death, and Red and myself have come to call these death pokers when you give them Death Touch. The inspiration for this deck was really a standard deck that I think Red built years ago when me and him started playing together. And it was during World Wake when Cunning Spark Mage and Basilisk Caller had come out. So I played an elf deck, Red played this, and needless to say, when he got both of these in play, he beat my elf deck every time. Alright, so we've gotten the equipment out of the way. There's one of our death pokers, along with Jeska. Let's look at the rest of the death pokers. Goblin Sharpshooter, death poker. It doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever a creature dies, untap him. So pretty much what he does is whenever you tap to kill something, he untaps and just snipes down the whole board. Great synergy with it. So we have Pythian Stinger, death poker. Volshock Sorcerer, another death poker. I think there's 2 of these in here. Not him, but with this effect. So he pays 2 mana tap, or don't tap, just 2 mana, deal 1 damage to a creature or player. If a creature dealt damage by him would die, exile it instead of putting it in the graveyard. Here's the other one. So she just taps, deal 1 damage, and she also has that effect where she removes something from the game if she killed it. Fire Slinger, tap, deal 1 damage to a creature or player, 1 damage to you. Kamal Pit Fighter, in the video, if anyone watched it, I referred to him as Campbell Noodle Soup. Just weird little nicknames me and Red had came up with years ago. Fire Stroker Dragon. Pseudo Poker. He has to attack, you pay 2, deal 1 damage, but you still get to kill something if he's got Death Touch. Chris Mage, pay red, discard a card, tapper, deal 1 damage to a creature or player. Brimstone Mage, level up, but when you level him all the way up, he taps 2 lightning bolt things. Scorch Rusalka, pay 1, sack a creature, deal 1 damage to target player. Cinder Pyromancer, tap, deal 1 damage to a player. Whenever you play a red spell, you may untap him. And I'm on a red deck, so you can untap him a lot. Pay red, tap, sacrifice a creature, deal 2 damage to target creature or player. And then flip Chandra. Siege Gang Commander. Enters the battlefield, you get 3/1/1 tokens, pay 2, sack a goblin, deal 2 damage to a creature or player. Spike Shot Goblin, pay red, tap, deal damage equal to his power to target creature or player, so 1 damage. Magma, pay 1, sack an online permanent, deal 1 damage to a creature or player. Fury Stroke Giant gives all of our other creatures tap. This creature deals 2 damage when he enters the battlefield, and he has persist, so if they kill him, he comes back with a negative counter, giving everything that ability again. Alright, so we have incidental damage cards. Goblin Charbelcher. Put that up, let y'all read it. It's a lot of text and I really don't want to read that. It's a really great card though, so take the time to read it. Shrine of Burning Rage. On your upkeep, and every time you play a spell, you put a counter on it, pay 3, sack it, deal damage equal to the number of counters on it. Fanatic of Mogus. When he enters a battlefield, he deals damage equal to your devotion to red to target opponent, or to each opponent. That's nice. Mana Barbs. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, Mana Barbs deals 1 damage to that player. Get our card draw. Sin Prodder. I have a feeling every time that there's a red deck, Sin Prodder is going to be in the deck tech, because the card is that good. Gear per Orrery. Each player may play an additional land on each of his or her turns. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, that player draws 3 cards. We're mono red, very few card draw spells in this specific deck, so if this ever comes out and it happens to be a late game scenario, more than likely we'll be taking advantage of this card. Chandra Flamecaller. Most of the time we're going to use that 0 ability. Outpost Siege, we're going to choose cons, because you choose cons or dragons when it comes in. We're always going to choose cons. Beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Reforge the Soul. Miracle Wheel of Fortune. And Browbeat. We have 3 creatures that give all of our creatures haste. Urabrass the Hidden. Paragon of Fierce Defiance. And Crimson Mage. 1 Lonely Koth of the Hammer. Ooh, put the Spark Mage back over here. Let's grab our beaters. Burning Sun's Avatar. When he enters the battlefield, it deals 3 damage to target opponent and 3 damage to up to 1 target creature. Hazaret the Fervent. Indestructible Haste. Can't attack or block unless you have 1 or fewer cards in hand. Pay 3, discard a card, deal 2 damage to each opponent. Wolf of Devil's Breach. Whenever he attacks, you may pay 2 or 1 in red. And discard a card. If you do, deals damage to target creature or planeswalker equal to the discarded card's mana cost. So the fact that he hits planeswalkers with something we could potentially discard, I don't know. A Browbeat. Killer Jace the Mind Sculptor. So he's a interesting card. We done play testing with the deck and we didn't run into him, but I'm really curious to see what he'll do in those types of scenarios. Lord of Shatterskull Pass. Level up all the way to level 6. That's what matters. 6/6. Every time he attacks, it deals 6 damage to each creature defending player controls. So you put the Basilisk Collar on him. That's the ultimate play with him. Give him Death Touch and Lifelink. You gain however many creatures they have. You gain 6 life for each one. And just kill everything they have unless it's indestructible. Akum Hellkite. Kind of like Valakut. Hate Flare. 7 mana 5/5 Wither. Pay 3 untap. Deal damage equal to its power to target creature or player. Great card. I've been playing this for a lot of years and it has never let me down. And a single Naheb. Because of our pokers, whenever we get to the point we're going to deal damage to players, he's going to generate us lots of mana. Let's see, other cards. Mindclaw Shaman. When he enters a battlefield, target opponent reveals their hand. You can cast an instant or sorcery from that player's hand without paying its mana cost. Oh yeah, these are defense cards. I was wondering what that pile was, and now I see. Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, if you're the defending player, put a 3/3 Ogre token on the battlefield unless that creature's controller pays 3. Flameblade Angel. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to you or a permanent you control, you may have her deal 1 damage to that source's controller. So, these 2 are cards that kind of make our opponent not want to attack us. Tunnel Ignis. Help us against any kind of ramp deck. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under opponent's control, if that player had a land enter the battlefield under their control this turn, deals 3 damage to that player. Repercussion. Great with our death pokers. We tap, deal damage to a creature, And this says, whenever a creature is dealt damage, repercussion deals that much damage to that creature's controller. Price of Glory to help us against any kind of control deck for the most part. Whenever a player taps a land for mana during another player's turn, destroy that land. And Fortune Thief. Damage that will reduce your life total to less than 1 reduces it to 1 instead. And it morphs, so you can get it out before turn 5. Alright, let's see. Damage. Doublers and damage enhancers is this pile. Furnace of Wrath, double all damage. Dictate of the Twin Gods, double all damage. Gratuitous Violence, double all damage. Angrath's Marauders, double all damage. Quest for the Pure Flame. Whenever a source you control will deal damage to an opponent, so our Death Tokers, put a quest counter on Quest for Pure Flame. When it has 4 more counters, you can sack it to double damage. And these two are our enhancers. Ember Maw Hellion, 5 mana, 4/5 trample. If another red source you control will deal damage to a permanent player, it deals that much damage +1, making our Death Pokers deal 2 damage. And Flames of Keld. What we're trying to get to is the third. What is it? Is it lore counter? Yeah, lore counter. If a red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player this turn, it deals that much damage +2. So for 1 turn, all of our Death Pokers are pretty much Kamals. They're tapping to deal 3 damage. Our Mana Rocks. Hazoret's Monument. Makes red spells cost 1 less, and it has a card draw built in every time you cast a creature. Soul Ring. Hedron Archive. Mind Stone. Fire Diamond. Right now, this is pretty much in there for flavor. I'm thinking about taking this out for a Chrome Mox, but we'll see. And on to the lands, the last part of the deck. Kerr Keep, tap to make 01s. Opal Palace. Belikit, the Molten Pinnacle. Mystifying Maze. Arcane Lighthouse. This land actually could potentially be pretty relevant. Pay 1 tap until end of turn. Creatures your opponent control lose Hexproof and Shroud and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. Hexproof or Shroud on their creatures would just ruin our whole day. So this land, if we run into the scenario where that's relevant, great land. Cycle Land, Path of Ancestry, Spine Rock Knoll, Hellion Crucible, Arch of Oroska. This I've talked about with a few people. I feel like this land should be a commander staple. It can go in any deck, and late game, unless you're playing like blue or something where you're going to draw a ton of cards, a lot of decks can take advantage of this land. Once you've got the City's Blessing, pay 5 tap, draw a card. That's very valuable. Card advantage on a land. Blighted Gorge. And basics. We are running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 25 basics. And that is Jeska Warrior Adept. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. And if you have any requests for videos, leave a comment down below.